Step 1. Setting up Audacity for optimal sound quality. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to open up Audacity, which is a sound program we'll be using to record our podcasts. So once the Audacity application opens, the first thing we want to do is select Audacity at the top here on a Mac computer and navigate down to the preferences. Now on the left side, you should be able to select quality. And your default settings may look something similar to this. However, if they don't, let's make sure that everything that we have listed here is exactly how your settings are set up. So first, the default sample rate should be set to 44.1, and our sample format should be a 32-bit float. The sample rate converter for both real-time and high-quality conversion should be set to best quality, and the dither for both should be set to shape. Once that's all been set up, what we'll do is we'll go to Devices, and we'll ensure that we select the device that you guys want to record with. Now, in most cases, you guys may have a mic already installed on your computer, and I believe most of you have the Blue mic or the Nessie. So what you want to do is you want to ensure that you select that from the device under Recording here. In my case, I'm using the built-in microphone on my Mac, so I will select that. Once that's been selected, I'm going to hit OK. Now to ensure that we're using the right mic to record, here on the menu, you'll see a microphone icon, and to the right, we're going to see built-in microphone. So I'm using my built-in mic. If you're using your Nessie or your Blue mic, make sure that it's selected here. But if you select it in the preferences there, it should automatically populate that. Step 2, how to record a new segment. So we're going to record a new segment, and the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we open up the Audacity window. So we're going to click on File, and I'm going to click on New. So you'll see the interface all set up here, and this is how we're going to start our recordings. So in the previous step, we've set up our microphone and the premium audio settings. So recording is actually just as simple as hitting this record button. So when I hit it, what you'll see is a track open up, and you'll start to see a cursor move. So that cursor indicates that I'm starting to record. You'll see here at the top that a green line goes back and forth when I'm recording, and that's your sound level. So if you notice that your sound level right here is starting to hit the reds, or is starting to go all the way up between this 3 and the 0 past this blue line, that usually means that you're speaking too loudly, and it's going to start clipping your audio, and it's going to lead to some distortion. In order to avoid that, you either speak a little bit more softly, move away from your microphone, or you can move the recording volume down a little bit more. So you'll notice that that went down, and now my voice is projected to be a little bit higher. So as you see, these blue lines indicate that I'm recording, and these are the actual sounds that are being recorded right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the space bar to stop that, and we can go back and actually listen to our sound. So I want to navigate all the way back to the beginning, so I'm going to click on this arrow to the left, and I'm going to hit play. So that cursor indicates that I'm starting to record. So that was the playback, and now you've heard and tested your audio. So at this point, we have the audio here on our screen, and what we want to do is we want to save the file. And the important thing to know about saving a file in Audacity, or any sound program for that matter, is there's two ways to access your audio. One way would be to save the file in the native format that the sound program saves it in. So what I can do is I can save this project as. So you'll notice a warning comes up that says Save Project is for an Audacity project, not an audio file. For an audio file that will open in other apps, use Export. So we're going to do that as the next step, but right now we're going to save this project. I'm going to click OK. So the difference between saving a project and exporting the audio is if I wanted to change the sounds or change the project, maybe add effects, maybe change some of the levels, move some of the tracks around, I'd be saving the project as a .aup, which is an Audacity project. So if you ever wanted to go back and edit your sound, we can save that. So the first thing I'm going to do is save this as demo test 1. I would always recommend to save it because it's like saving any of your Word documents or an Excel file, because you can always go back and access it later. I'm going to save that to my desktop. I'm going to save. So it's converted that. And as you'll see here, there's demo test 1.aup. And again, that's just the file. So what that allows you to do is access your project again. So say I close this, and that window's closed, I can actually open this up again by clicking on that .aup file. Now, when we want to export the audio, we want to export it as a .wav or a .mp3. And what those file formats are sound formats. And those formats can actually be opened up in iTunes or another sound program like a QuickTime, something like that where you can replay sounds. So iTunes, for example, won't play .aup files because that's native to the sound program, and that's the project file. So what we want to do is we actually want to create the sound file itself. So for Audacity, what we want to do is we want to click anywhere on the track. We want to select everything. And to do that on a Mac computer, you're going to hit Command, which is the Apple, and A. You notice that everything's highlighted now. So once everything's been highlighted, I'm going to hit File, and I'm going to hit Export Audio. Now what this does is it's going to give me the format in a WAV, which is a sound file. So what we're going to do is we'll name this Demo Test Sound. And I'm going to hit Save, and I'm going to put that on my desktop. Now here you have Edit the Metadata. And these have like different values that you can change that are the tags of your audio. So when you go to open this file as a .wav or a .mp3, you'll be able to see different tags that show up in iTunes, for instance, that have the artist name or the track title, album title, all the settings or the metadata for your file. So in this case, I'll do the artist name is me, John, and the track will be Podcast Demo. And hit OK. So what that does now is that actually exports the actual sound file. So on a Mac, I can actually just click it. So that cursor indicates that I'm starting to record. And that's your sound file. So this is, once you've recorded your podcast and you've exported it, this will be the file that we'll use to save into our Dropbox, or we can email. And this will be what you've recorded, essentially, on your podcast. So my suggestion is, at the conclusion of every podcast, save the actual file as a .aup, keep that for your records, and then do what we did where we highlight and we hit File, Export Audio, and then we have the actual audio file. So just in case there was something wrong with the export, or there was something that you needed to change or edit, you can always go back to the original sound file and edit it there, and then re-export it later. So that's how you record and export a file. Step 3. So the next thing we're going to do, now that we have our sound file on our desktop, we're going to need to convert this to an MP3 format. So a .wav format is a pretty high quality audio format. And in most cases, we'd want to work with this file when doing editing for our podcast. However, since we need to send it between team members, a .wav file is generally a larger sized file because of how high quality it is. But what we can do is we can convert this to a high quality MP3. And what we're going to do to convert that is we're going to use iTunes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up iTunes. And the first thing we need to do is change our preferences to ensure that we can convert this to an MP3. So we're going to click iTunes here, hit Preferences. And what we need to do is we need to locate to the bottom under General here, under the Import Settings. Click Import Settings. We have to ensure that Import Using is selected as MP3 encoder. And our setting should be at higher quality, 192 kbps. So select that, and we'll hit OK. And then we'll hit OK again to ensure that's selected. So now to convert it, what we'll do is we're going to right-click this, and we're going to open with, and make sure that it's set to iTunes. And hit iTunes. So that cursor indicates that I'm starting to record. You'll see here at the top that a green line. So basically, I've opened this up here in iTunes, and I want to just find this file, which is demo test sound. So I'll go to name, and I'll just scroll down to demo test sound. Since you were last playing it and it's queued up here, you'll see a little speaker beside it. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to right click, and if you're on a Mac and you're just using your trackpad, you want to hit Control and then click. So Control, click, bring up this menu. And then you want to scroll down to where it says Create MP3 Version. So once we hit this, you'll notice below another one has been created. So to ensure that we're using the MP3 version, what we'll do is we'll highlight the one on the bottom. That's a new one that was created. And we're going to right click it. We're going to hit on Get Info. When we go to Get Info, what we're looking for is we want to go to File here on the right. We want to make sure that the kind is an MPEG audio file. And this is the one that we know is going to be our MP3. So just once we've located it and right clicked it to see the properties, see that it's an MPEG audio file, I'm going to click OK. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this MP3. I'm just going to drag it to my desktop. Minimize my iTunes. So we've converted it now, and you'll notice here that you'll have two sound files. One is your MP3 file, and one is your WAV. So since we'll be sending this, or in this case, we'll be uploading it to Dropbox, we're going to use the MP3 file as the file that we're sending between the team members. So in my case, I have Dropbox installed on my computer as an application. So if you also have this installed, which I believe most of you do, you can click on the Dropbox icon, which is here, and we can go to this folder. That just basically opens up all the folders you have on Dropbox. I'm going to upload mine onto the Body.io folder, and then I'm going to drag this to that folder. Now, you may already have a shared folder that you're using with the team members, and whatever has been set up for you guys to share, that's where you want to drag this file to. So what I've done is I've dragged it to this folder, which is Body.io podcast. Now we have demo test sound. So this file, when you notice that a green check mark has been lit beside it, that means that it's actually viewable by the other members of that folder. And it's been finished uploading. Sometimes if it's still uploading up into the folder, you'll see kind of like a blue circle here with arrows. And that just indicates that it's not ready yet. So once it's green, then it's uploaded into your Dropbox account and viewable by whoever you're sharing the folder with. And that's how you convert to an MP3 and upload to your Dropbox folder.